Residents and taxpayers of the borough are permitted to comment on current matters of concern or agenda items which are before the council this evening. If you would like to address Borough Council this evening, we ask that you please stand at the microphone, give your name, spell your last name, and give your address so you will be properly identified for the minute record. Each speaker will be limited to 5 minutes. I believe we have two folks who would like to speak tonight. Ray Osterman. Osterholm. Yes, sir.
My name is Ray Oderholm. I live at 2540 Countryside Lane in the borough. I would like to make a request with respect to motion number 9 on this evening's agenda, which is the adoption of a mission statement.
Yes.
It's a good mission statement, and I'm glad to see it. I believe adding one word would make it an even better mission statement. When I looked up Franklin Park Borough on Google today, and Wikipedia comes up. The picture on Wikipedia is of Trinity Lutheran Church, Franklin Park Borough. That's the symbol on Wikipedia. I happen to be a member of that church. If you go to the borough's own website and go to the history tab, the second bullet is Fairmont Presbyterian Church is the oldest of Franklin Park's 14 churches. So worship has been an important factor throughout the entire history of Franklin Park. Places of worship are still part of the fabric of this community today. I believe the police department, and it may even be Lieutenant Snyder, is planning to work with area houses of worship on some sort of emergency response clinic. So an email go around this week on that. So I would respectfully request that a member of council consider offering an amendment to add worship after play in the last sentence of motion number 9. So it would read, we provide services and support that enhance the lives of those who live, work, play, and worship in our borough. Now, Franklin Park is a diverse community with people of many different faiths. I'm not asking council to advocate for any particular faith, but this amendment would just add a statement of fact that for those who are so inclined, Franklin Park is also a good place to worship. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I might ask our solicitor, is there any legal challenge to that?
Well, I mean, from a Sunshine Act perspective, that's no, we don't need to open it for discussion or anything like that. It's a minor amendment to a stated motion on the agenda. From a separation of church and state issue, we're not under the same requirements as the school district. We're not dealing with schools. If anybody's driven up, I think it's Route 65 into Bellevue, I think their municipal sign says play, live, and worship, you know, right when you go into, I think it's Bellevue up that way. So it's not as much of an issue, and particularly with the way that the federal courts have been leaning, as long as we're not endorsing a particular religion, if we are just, you know, generic toward it, it should be okay. But of course, with anything, you know, there are sensitive subjects. It can be something that has unintended consequences, but there's no prohibition that we could see from adding it here, or that I could see if council wanted to make that amendment.
I like that idea, but I'd ask council for their input and thoughts on it.
I'm good too. I think that's, we can add some.
Mr. Parks, with the solicitor's input saying that it's permissible, I really have no objection to that amendment either.
Okay. Right. Sounds like you, Dave.
Yeah, Yeah, based on the input, no objection here. If anything, it's more inclusive and more encompassing.
Right,
So
great.
Cool.
Very good. Much appreciated. Thank you, sir. Mac, can we just add that word? at this
Yes,
point?
I would suggest, just for alliteration sense, and so we don't have to change it too much, that it be who live, work, worship, and play in our borough.
Right,
That's
I agree. Okay, thank you.
Will we need to add it as an amendment, Max, or can we read it
No, we
that
can
way?
read it.
Okay.
If that's the will of
Okay.
council.
And it is. Mr. Finnegan, Pete Finnegan? Yes, sir. Sure. No, that's fine. Okay.
Take the other one out.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Hello, good evening. Thanks for the opportunity. My name is Pete Finnegan, Finnegan, 2594 Hunters Point, Port North in Wexford. I'm a Penn State electrical engineer and I worked in engineering and maintenance in the steel industry. I'm a longtime resident of the borough, but for an even longer time, I've been a licensed amateur radio operator, also known as ham radio. This Saturday is Festival in the Park. It is also Amateur Radio Field Day, single most popular event on the ham radio calendar. It is estimated that up to 40,000 people throughout the country participate annually on this one weekend. Field Day has two main purposes: to practice emergency preparedness and to demonstrate our hobby to the public. Amateur radio uses shortwave radio bands, and communications can reach across the country directly. Because of this, Field Day is national in scope, but its benefits are local. That is because each operator in an emergency would provide his service to his local community. Festival in the Park is the perfect setting for Field Day. It attracts lots of people of all ages to one public location, coincidentally on the same day. Several weeks ago, I contacted the recreation director by email requesting a meeting so that I could describe the plan for this activity that I would like to conduct. I was told over the phone and without a meeting that this was something he did not want to do. Apparently, he thinks this would conflict with the purpose of the festival, but to get his exact reason, he would have to be asked. The federal government expresses its interest in continuation of the amateur radio service through FCC licensing. Our national organization, the American Radio Relay League, or ARRL, has organized and promoted Field Day since 1933. But cooperation from, and of course, the leadership of local government are fundamental to emergency preparedness. In two festivals of the past, I received approval over the phone from the recreation director at that time to set up near the log house. There were no problems doing this. In fact, police stopped by and helped. Many people, including young people, were able to visit, as it was near to but off to the side of the main areas of the festival. This year, I'm asking only to be located at the far south end of the park behind the ball fields. That area is flat and up on a bluff and is a better operating location than the log house area. There would be a table, a radio, a laptop computer, an antenna, a Honda generator, and possibly a canopy if it looks like rain. With signs that can be posted, people who are interested can find it and visit. If they wish, they can operate the equipment under supervision. Safety would be ensured. My time period would be 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. By the time people arrive for the festival, my activity would be well underway and settled in. Visitors could easily be received. In closing, I thought it was worthwhile bringing this to your attention. In March of this year, FEMA released the National Incident Management System, which includes amateur radio in its guidance for emergency management. A memorandum of agreement between FEMA and the ARRL was issued in May. Field Day is one way to introduce not only the public, but also government officials to amateur radio. Hopefully, some visitors would develop a new interest. For those who have official roles, their encouragement and support would be welcomed. If approval for my plan is given, I'm inviting each of you or others you designate to visit. Thank you, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Council, have questions for Mr. Finnegan?
Well, you know, maybe not questions, but we do have an emergency response committee or team set up within the borough that involves the fire, the ambulance authority, in all the emergency responses. And in fact, I think we're going to do a simulated drill later this year. So John, you're more
Yeah,
up to.
we have an emergency operation plan.
Right.
And we do simulations periodically, and there's going to be one in September. So that would be another consideration and a possibility to include you in that.
I mean, I would like to consider being included in that. I would just point out that this field day is an once per year event that happens only on this one day.
Yeah, you said you participated in the past in all the festivals. Could you clarify that?
Twice, 2 times. I believe if you want the years, it's over a decade ago.
Oh, okay, okay. What happened in the interim that there was,
I was busy.
pardon?
I
You
just
were
didn't,
busy.
I had other, I did it at other locations, for example. I had other, there's other groups around that do the same thing.
It's at this point, there's been a lot of plans made for the festival. I think it's kind of late to include that. Perhaps it's best to take this offline, and perhaps we can discuss it tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm not sure council is prepared to make a decision without knowing the complete implications of doing that at this point in time, because the festival is only 3 days away.
Appreciate that. I would just repeat that I started to try to do this weeks ago. So, okay.
Understood. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else at this point who would like to make comments? No written. And there were, no written comments, email written comments submitted by noon today. The minutes of the May 17th, 2023 pre-meeting, the May 17th, 2023 regular meeting, and the June 7th, 2023 work session minutes were given to mayor and council. Are there any additions or corrections? Hearing none, can I have a motion, please?
Move the minutes of the May 17th, 2023 pre-meeting, the May 17th, 2023 regular meeting, and the June 7th, 2023 work session be approved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The treasurer's financial report, Mrs. Crane.
Thank you, Mr. President. General fund revenues for the month of May totaled $1,535,389. Year-to-date total revenues as of May 31st were $3,758,535. This represents about 34% of the 2023 total budget. Conversely, from the expenditure side of life, general fund expenditures for the month of May totaled $728,628. Year-to-date total expenditures as of May 31st were $3,355,016. That represents about 25% of the 2023 total budget.
Thank you,
That
Mr.
concludes my
Frank.
report, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Move to make the treasurer's financial report be accepted as read.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Police report, Mayor O'Keefe.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. For the month of May, Franklin Park Police serviced 738 calls, resulting in 19 arrests, 1 DUI, 2 simple assault, 1 failure to render aid, 1 drugs, 5 harassment, 7 disorderly conduct, 2 dumping citations, 72 warnings were issued, and 72 citations were issued and 131 warnings. And we had a special response team. We had a special response team call out by the Indiana Township. And also, I just want to add to that, Mr. President, that Officer Amanda Fednock resigned effective June 6th. Officer Fednock served and protected Franklin Park with dignity and professionalism, and we wish her continued success. And we also received a note expressing gratitude for service Officer Brian Blakely provided to a resident. And we received an anonymous donation of 15 $25 gift certificates to T-Bones Deli. So, all good. So,
Well, good.
that completes the police report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mayor.
Recommend the police report be filed with the police secretary.
Fire report, Mr. Mazinski.
Thank you, Mr. President. The fire company responded to 22 calls in the month of May, including the following: 6 vehicle accidents with general cleanup, 5 alarm system activations, 2 dispatched and canceled en route, 2 brush, mulch, and grass fire, 1 vehicle fire, 1 animal rescue, 1 natural gas leak, 1 assist police, 1 assist EMS, 1 carbon monoxide incident, and 1 no incident found at the given location. The fire company was assisted by other fire companies once, and we assisted other fire companies 3 times. Year-to-date fire calls are 111. Total volunteer man hours for the month of May were 380, and year-to-date volunteer man hours are 2,392. End of report, Mr. President.
Thank you, sir. Building inspectors report, Mr. Phillips.
Construction report from May 23, 25 permits were issued on single family dwellings, issued models, 5 decks, 3 swimming pool, shed, 2 outbuildings, 1 sign, 2 demolition permits, 6 miscellaneous permits. Total value of construction for May was $1,700,354. Total fees collected per month, $1,300. End of report.
Thank you, Mr. Phillips. Borough Council held an executive session on June 7th, 2023 to discuss SharePoint security, Bliss, Washington Lane, and personnel. We also held a executive session this evening to discuss a personnel issue. Old business, none. New business.
Move council authorize the payment of the bills which have been reviewed and approved since the last meeting.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Yunker, if you would introduce ordinance number 678-2023.
Certainly, this is ordinance number 678 of 2023. It is an ordinance of the Borough of Franklin Park, Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, accepting and adopting Windsor Court and all other public infrastructure as identified in the final site recording plan for the Willow Ridge residential development, as the same are laid out and constructed and recorded in the Department of Real Estate, Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, in Plan Book Volume 304, page 151, as borough facilities, including but not limited to curbs and surface water drainage facility abutting thereon, empowering and directing the proper officers of Borough Council to enter into a maintenance agreement with the developer, providing that the developer shall and will maintain aforesaid improvements for a period of 18 months against defective workmanship and material in said plan, requiring the developer to reimburse the borough's expenses and to provide a financial security to secure its obligations under said maintenance agreement. This will be advertised for action at a future meeting and will be provided to at the July meeting and will be provided to residents on Windsor Court.
Okay. Motion 4.
Move the set aside agreement in the amended amount of $234,104.92 for the Bliss Residential Land Development be reduced by $32,794.92 to $201,310 in accordance with the letter from Lennon Smith and Solar Ray Engineering dated June 14th of 2023.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Move to accept the resignation of Amanda Badenoch as a police officer effective June 6, 2023.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Move to ratify the hiring of Marcy Burkhart as the building inspection / zoning administrator effective June 21st, 2023 at a salary of $50,000 per year.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Opposed? Sorry. Motion carried. Okay. And secretary was changed to administrator. Changed the title after this agenda was printed. Motion 7, please.
Move Morton Salt Company be awarded the bid for rock salt at a cost of $81.77 per ton delivered for the period September 1st, 2023 to August 31st, 2024, with additional incremental years as per the North Hills COG bid opened May 25th, 2023.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Move to notify the Civil Service Commission of a police officer vacancy due to Amanda Fednock's resignation and to request the certification of an eligibility list.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Move to adopt the following mission statement for the borough. Franklin Park Borough is committed to creating a safe and welcoming community for our residents, businesses, and visitors. We place equal value on our green spaces as we do our developed areas and strive to maintain a fiscally responsible balance between sustainable land use and economic opportunity. Through the dedication and guidance of our municipal leadership, we provide services and support that enhance the lives of those who live, work, worship, and play in our borough.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Move to
Go ahead.
move to enter into the first addendum to development agreement with Deerfield and State FP Development LLC for the development and construction of Deerfield State Plan Phase 1 located off Dixon Road.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Yunker, would you summarize resolution number 1344-2023?
Certainly, this is resolution number 1334 of 2023. It is a resolution of the Borough Council of the Borough of Franklin Park, Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, authorizing the filing of an application for Growing Greener Plus grant funds with the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection.
Move to adopt resolution number 1334 of 2023, authorizing the borough manager to apply for a Growing Greener grant through the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection for the proposed stream and stream bank repair and restoration for the unnamed tributary along Montgomery Road that flows to Bear Run and the Lowry's Run watershed to fulfill a portion of the borough's municipal storm sewer system, MS4, pollution reduction plan as approved under its National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System permit with the PADEP.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Move to award ad alternative 1 Summerfield sidewalks, borough sidewalks in the amount of $19,625 and add alternate 2 Summerfield sidewalks developer sidewalks in the amount of $52,875 to the previously awarded contract number 23-R01 between the Borough and Palumbo Contracting of New Kensington, Pennsylvania, as set forth in the motion approved at the March 15, 2023 regular meeting.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Comments from Mr. Ebner.
I'd like to remind everybody that this Saturday is our festival in the park, and it's also celebration of our 200th anniversary. Please, if you're attending, stop by the Activity Center. We do have a history display that folks have put a lot of time and effort into that I think will be very, very informational and shed some light on the history of the borough.
Thank you. Mr. Yunker,
Nothing further?
Mayor O'Keefe,
Come to the park Saturday, festival in the park, and celebrate our bicentennial.
Mr. Powell.
If you're coming to the park Saturday, just encourage you to carpool if you can.
That's a good
That's it.
idea.
Do we have any announcements on closures getting into the park? I think we talked about that before. That people should be aware that there are entrances they can't get into.
Zach, you wanna?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tomorrow there'll be an announcement.
Okay,
Okay.
terrific, yeah.
All right. Mr. Mislinski,
See everybody at the park on Saturday. That's all.
Mr. Lee, Dr. Lee,
And nothing new.
Mr. Schwartzmeyer.
I'm just asking everybody to see what you can do to stop the rain that's forecast for Saturday. I guess it's pretty high level of high risk of thunder showers out there.
We don't say these things.
I don't want to spoil it. I'm hoping it doesn't occur. The weather's usually wrong, so I think we're gonna be all right.
Yeah. This to Giacomo, the comments. Thank you.
And Mr. Parks, I had a quick question for Lieutenant Snyder. If folks are worried about the bear that's been sighted, do you have some advice for them or where they should go for that? Yeah. Yeah.
Taking your birthday. As mentioned in the meeting before.
Yeah.
Township as well. Area.
And make noise if you encounter them. They don't like noise. Okay, Borough Engineer, Mr. Wingrove.
It's nothing this evening, sir. Thank you.
Lieutenant, any further comment? Okay, Mr. Buchanan.
I'd just like to mention that the residents at the yard waste site will be closed tomorrow, at 12 o'clock, and it'll be reopened on Sunday due to we need a parking area for the festival in the park.
Right,
That's all I have.
right, thank you. Mr. Phillips. Mr. Brower. It'll be a busy day. Mrs. Crane. Okay. Any further public comments? Mr. Knock, is there any hands raised on the,
I see no hands raised, Mr. President.
no hands raised? Okay, I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We are adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
I think Mr. Malkin seconded.